Welcome to the Golden Playbook, the podcast that celebrates the heart, hustle, and legacy of the greatest coaches. I'm your host, Brittany, and today we're going to take a journey through 38 incredible years of coaching. Years that have forever changed the athletes, the school, and the entire community of Russellville. We're talking about Coach Townley, a coach whose playbook extended far beyond the football field, and whose impact is etched in the hearts of all who were lucky enough to learn under his guidance. It all started back in 1989 when Coach Townley first stepped onto the field at Russellville High School. He wasn't just looking to win games, he was looking to make a difference. Coach Townley had the drive and vision to build something special. No, his playbook was different. His playbook was about character, hard work, and teaching young athletes how to face adversity head on.
In those early days, the Russellville football program wasn't quite the powerhouse it is today, but Coach Townley had a vision, and he wasn't a debtor. He knew that if he could instill a sense of discipline and determination in his players, the wins would come, both on the field and in life.
Through the years, Coach Townley had turned the program around, not just with strategy, but with a deep commitment to his players. He knew that every young person who walked through those locker room doors had potential, whether they were starting quarterback or backup lineman. To him, every player mattered, and each one had a role to play in the larger story of the team.
But it wasn't just football skills. Coach Townley was about building leaders. He often said football is just a game, but life is what you're really preparing for. And those words stuck with his players, guiding them through their high school years and far beyond. Whether it was on the field, in the classroom, or in the community, Coach's lesson went well past the final whistle.
One of the most remarkable things about Coach Townley wasn't just his coaching philosophy. It was the way he led by example. His Golden Playbook was never written in a binder or filed away in a cabinet. It was a playbook of values, respect, resilience, accountability, and perseverance. These were the principles he instilled in his athletes, and they became the foundation of the Russellville City Schools athletic program.
Coach's influence wasn't just felt on Friday nights. His reach stretched far into the gym class through his relationships with teachers, administrators, and parents. He knew that teaching his athletes how to handle success was just as important as teaching them how to handle failure. And for every victory, he would remind them that it wasn't the scoreboard that mattered most. It was the person that they became in the process.
As Coach Townley's career continued, his impact began to ripple to every corner of Russellville. Former players, now doctors, teachers, community leaders, and parents often return to say the same thing. Coach made me who I am. Those words were proof that Coach's influence had transcended the field, creating a community of individuals who carried his lessons with them.
In a recent conversation with Coach Townley, I asked him what kept him going after all these years. He smiled and said, "When you see a young person with no confidence and watch them grow into someone who believes in themselves, that's what makes it all worth it. It's not about the trophies or the titles. It's about the journey."
Hi, we're here with Coach Townley today, and how has your day been?
It's been great. How about you?
Thank you. It's been good.
Good.
Okay, we have some questions for you. First, looking back, how has the sports and coaching landscape changed during your coaching at RCS?
Well, one of the things I think has changed is the access that you have to your athletes now. When I first started, it was, very limited, the time in the off season that you got to spend with the athletes. And now, basically you get them when you want them. Even in the off season, when there's sports not in season, you can see the athletes up to 2 hours a week. Which is good for the coaches because you see them when you need to. But in my opinion, it's kind of bad for the athlete because their downtime is really zero, especially for those kids that are playing more than one sport because every sport wants to get their time with them. And I think for that reason, there's a lot of kids that are, kind of forced to choose what they play just in order to, to meet the demands and have a little time to themselves. And just since I've, been here, I think we've added volleyball, cross country, soccer, and, there may be something else that I'm leaving out, but I think that's significant. And probably the second thing that's just happened recently, it's, really in college athletics, but is having an impact on high school sports is the installation of the transfer portal and the NIL stuff. college coaches now are choosing to use the transfer portal really heavy because they get an experienced athlete coming in that can make an impact immediately. Now, they still recruit the elite athletes, the freshmen, to come in, but, a lot of people are relying strictly on the transfer portal to develop their teams, and, that hurts the number of high school kids that are going to be offered a scholarship. And like I say, the elite are still going to get recruited, but the way it's set up now, these guys that sometimes might get a scholarship to play are going to be left out. But I guess, the things I just mentioned are probably the most significant changes that I've seen.
Also, as a coach, you've probably seen countless ups and downs. How did you motivate your teams during tough seasons or difficult moments?
Well, we've got good kids, and I have to say, when you have kind of a downtime, they're really resilient. We don't rely on one person. We don't rely on one coach. It's a team effort, and if we have somebody go down or we have a down moment, everybody picks each other up. It's next man up attitude. And we feel like, every who we have is going to be prepared and they're going to do their job. And, I think that's why we've been successful. We've had good coaches. We've had good players.
Okay. With the many young athletes who've passed through your program, what kind of future do you hope they have both in sports and in life?
Well, I wish them the best in everything, but, sport is only going to last for a short period of time. Doesn't matter what you do, whether you're a professional athlete or whatever. But, if you can take what you've learned in sport, and apply it to your life, I want them to be successful in life. That's what makes me happy. Coaching is not about the money. If it was about the money, I wouldn't have went into coaching, because you don't make a lot of money coaching. But you have an opportunity to motivate and maybe have an impact in somebody's life. And that's what's most important to me. That is the reward when somebody comes back and says, "Coach, I appreciate what you did for me." That means the world. That's why I do it.
Okay. As you approach retirement, how do you feel about stepping away from coaching after such a long and successful career?
Well, I'll be honest with you. It's going to be hard. I've coached a long time, well over 600 football games, countless basketball games, and my thing has been watching my kids be successful on Friday night after I prepare them. That's important to me, knowing that I did my job. And I stress to them, look, I'm going to give you the best I've got every day, and we're going to have that culminate on Friday night. I want you to give me your best on Friday night. And, not being a part of that, I'll be honest now, I've struggled with it. I struggle with it a lot. It's going to be hard to walk away. Matter of fact, I was down with them yesterday, going through, drills and doing some things, and I was thinking the whole time, it's going to be really weird not being down on that sideline and not being with my coaching buddies and not being with my kids. But somebody told me a long time ago, you'll know when it's time. You'll just know. And, I think that time for me is now.
Do you have any plans for staying involved with sports or the community after your retirement?
Well, I hope to. I've told Coach Goodwin and all the guys, if you need me, they've all got my cell phone. We communicate every day. Somebody's texting or something, and I told them, look, I'm not throwing you on the bus. by any means, if you need me for anything, all you've got to do is give me a call. And, I hope to be involved, could work out to where they may need me to have a little input on something. I don't know, but, they don't need me. I can tell you that. They don't need me, but if they want me to be involved, I certainly would.
Is there anything you would like to say to the athletes, the fellow coaches, and the community that has supported you over the years?
Yes, I love you guys. I've always loved the sport. Like I said, it's going to be hard to walk away because of the impact they have on my life. They don't understand how important they are to me, and just the time we spend together. And I spend more time with them, and you can ask my wife. I spend more time with them than I do at home. But I love those guys. I love my coaches. They're like my brothers. Spend a lot of time with them, and I know, if I ever need anything, all I've got to do is pick up the phone, and they're going to be there for me. And the community has been great. I hope to still be involved in some things, and it's like I said, it's great being a Golden Tiger.
Today we are here with Miss Poss, and we're going to be asking her some questions about Coach Townley.
Okay. How was Coach Townley when he coached you?
He was very tough on us. We ran a lot, but at the end of the day, we knew that he loved us. I would probably, and I hope he would say the same thing. I was on his team from like 96 until 2000 when I graduated. And I would say that the teams he had from 96 to 2000 were probably his favorite teams.
Fair. So how was Coach Townley's coaching, like in general?
He required a lot of us. There are times when I think back that I feel like we had like 1,000 offenses, and we went over those every day in practice. But we were always ready for any defense that we faced. If we didn't run a drill right, we would do the drill again and again. And back then, our parents were allowed to be at practices. And so if he made us run, our parents were there to watch us run. Practices were tough. We knew what he expected, but we respected him for that.
Okay. Was he a good coach?
Yes, he pushed us to be the very best that we could be. We ended up going to Wallace several years to play. He always wanted us to be the very best that we could possibly be.
Did Coach Townley ever give you a free day?
You mean at practice?
Yes.
All over, like.
No, there were no. I don't remember any free days ever. I remember practices usually started. That's when we went to block system, and so our practices usually started around 2 when we went to 4th block, and we usually got out of practice between 5:30, 5:45. We had workouts during that time. We would do some stadium runs. Then we would start basketball practice. If we had a free day, I don't think it would be what you guys consider a free day. A free day for us would be like maybe we got to skip stadium runs that day, but we did everything else. Or maybe we just came in to shoot free throws for 2 hours, or just work on shots, but we still conditioned. I don't think that what you guys know as a free day was ever a thing for us, really.
So y'all just did like less work.
We did less work,
free days.
which was a free day. Now, I will say this. Sometimes at practice, if you wanted to get out of running, he would let the team what's called sit on the wall, which is where you have to sit with your legs, bent, keep a ball on your legs, and whoever could sit there the longest got out of running.
Was it like a med ball or just like a basketball?
It was just a basketball.
Okay.
But everyone wanted to win because we did not want to run those suicides at the end. And so at the time, I drove a 5-speed truck, which, if you don't know, that's where you have to shift gears, and everything's manual on there. So there were times where I couldn't leave after practice because we had been sitting on the wall so long that I could not mash the clutch in to go home. So those days were long at the time, but they went by super quick.
Okay. Was he a more serious person or a calm person?
He was very serious when he needed to be, and we knew when he got real serious with us that we should be serious as well. He was not a calm coach when we had him. I know you guys probably see him now on the varsity boys sideline, and he's much more calm and reserved than he was when he coached us. But part of that was our fault as well. Sometimes, we weren't the best listeners, and he would have to go over things several times with us. But at the end of the day, we knew when he was serious that we needed to get serious too. So
I feel like if he was calm, it would confuse y'all now because you're so used to him being serious. You'll be like, wait, what's going on?
Yeah.
Well, now that we're all older, we actually get to joke around with him when we see him all the time. So it's nice to still have that relationship with your coach from high school.
I feel like that's a good thing to build a coach with, like a relationship with a coach.
It is, and now he has taught all of my kids in school as well. So it's nice to still have him around.
What was your favorite memory about Coach Townley?
Oh goodness, there's several. Actually, he started being our PE teacher when I was in 4th grade. And I'll let you guys do the math. I've been out of high school 25 years, so I'll let you guys do the math on that. And during the summer, our parents would take us to Hardee's, and we would meet Coach Townley there, and they would drop us off, and he would take us to basketball camps, 4th and 5th grade, 6th grade, and then we got to try out for the school team in 7th grade. And so he's just always been around, and those are some of the best memories. We also got the bus to stop at Quincy's one time for rolls. Let's see. We have been known to play pranks on him from time to time and try to play jokes on him. But those were the best memories. We also got to have a lock-in at RES before the school was actually open. We did a team bonding time where we had a lock-in overnight in the gym with all of our coaches and our entire team, where we got to go back and do like the elementary scooter rides and the parachute time and just those old games that we used to play. That was a really, really good memory.
I feel like that would be crazy because I always joke about being locked in at school, but now
Yeah.
hearing someone actually go through
No,
it.
we did
sounds
lock in.
so much fun.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was so much fun. We watched movies all night. We had snacks. Like I said, we played all those old games. What y'all probably don't know about any of those, but
we did
You
that.
do?
I've done
Okay.
The scooters.
Yeah, I
have
remember.
multiple fingers and injuries.
Yeah,
Yes.
the scooters always hurt you.
yes. So we did that. We had the giant big kickball.
Yeah.
We played that. Yeah, it was a fun time. Fun time.
His humility was evident. For Coach, it was always about the players, always about the people. His legacy is in every lesson, every tackle, every pass thrown. But more importantly, his legacy is in the lives he touched, lives that he will continue to inspire generations to come.
As Coach Townley heads into retirement, it's impossible to measure the true depth of his impact. 40 years of coaching have created more than just championship teams. They've created a family. The Golden Playbook he's left behind isn't just a list of drills and plays. It's a collection of timeless values that will echo through the halls of Russellville City Schools for years to come.
Thanks for tuning in to this special episode of the Golden Playbook. Today, we have the honor of sharing Coach Townley's story, a leader who shows what it means to coach with purpose, passion, and heart. As we wrap up, remember, a great coach isn't measured by trophies, but by the lives they impact.
Until next time, and remember, every great play starts with a solid foundation. Build yours with respect, integrity, and determination.